Footy, and yesterday at the MCG, Fremantle didn't get enough goals and they couldn't catch Collingwood, who looked to be in control, Matty Lloyd, pretty much from the start.
Yeah, they did, Scoop. Kicked the first 6 goals of the match and you thought how far Collingwood, but full credit to Fremantle. They fought hard, as they usually do under Ross Lyon. Matthew Pavlich was great for the Dockers with 5 goals. Chris Dawes, his best game of the year with 3, and Dane Swan, Beams, Blair, the usual suspects dominated for Collingwood, and Michael Barlow was a good player, but the Super Coach points, Darren Jolly, he was brilliant yesterday against 2 ruckmen, Dane Swan, Beams, Blair Wellingham, and Michael Barlow, 37 disposals yesterday for Fremantle, was a great performer. But it's my pleasure to introduce one of the gun centre-half-backs of the competition in Nathan Brown. So Nathan, congratulations on the win yesterday, and what do you make of your battle with Matty Pavlich?
Yeah, the Pavs on fire and that, but yeah, it was a below par effort from my standards, but yeah, it was a good win from us, and you just love those games that it's a real grind, and to get a win is even better. Yeah.
A lot's been made of where you were in the first 3 weeks as a club when you conceded a fair few goals. Has something changed? Because I feel like that you're back in regards to that defensive pressure and maybe using the corridor a bit more?
Yeah, that's it. We've really made a focus on just keeping it simple and really going back to what we do best, and that's really blue-collared effort, tackling, pressure, and just in and under numbers at the ball and really creating a grind of a game.
If we take a look at some of the highlights, it was all started in the midfield. You could tell Fremantle Brownie were trying to keep it in tight and close. They didn't want you to let you get on the outside, but just thought your midfield, it's hard, just the depth of your midfield now. I think teams are really struggling to cope with it.
Yeah, well, obviously, like Scotty Pendlebury's a fantastic player for us, but guys have stepped up, and sometimes you forget that Scotty's not out there because blokes like Sidey and Beamsy, they're just playing out of their skin. Blair, he's just, I think he's had his first time over 30 possessions yesterday, and just going really well and stepping up, and I can't wait to get Pendles back and just really bolster us up.
You made it very hard for Fremantle. Every time they started to go forward, there was just Collingwood players everywhere. Shaw was free at times, Maxwell was free. So it was very well played from your back line and your midfielders to push back and just give you a lot of help early. Yeah,
we just want to find that right difference between a few players getting on their man and really knuckling down one-on-one, and then a few off their players, and then just getting that balance right and just create no options for them coming forward. When their half-back line gets the ball and want to go forward, they've got nothing to kick to, and then obviously our forwards putting massive pressure on that, and then they hopefully get a turnover and we kick a goal.
Lloyd, he wanted to ask you about Fremantle. Did they lock down on any of the Collingwood stars in the midfield?
Yeah, they actually, it's interesting, Dane Beams started on the ground, but Crowley started on the bench, so you thought, are they not going to tag? But a minute into the game, he went straight to Dane Beams. But what I was impressed with Dane Beams was his running capacity. I didn't see that in the past, probably because he had a bit of an injury last year, but has he always had that engine, or has he improved?
Yeah, obviously I think he's improved as his form, and that he's improved out of sight this year. But yeah, he's always had that engine, and what impressed me with yesterday is he early on I think he got even knocked out, or he got a big knock to the head, and just the way bounced back and really carried on and got on with the game and was kicked a couple of good goals.
One of the missing links to your forward line so far this year has been Chris Dawes, but 3 goals yesterday. Just started to get his hands on the footy, played up the ground a little bit, some of the ruck, and it'd be great to have him coming into form in September. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, he's been a missing link. That the 2 goals or 3 goals that he gets every week are very handy, and just playing on him in training during the week, I could sense that he's worked his arse off, and his intensity's really really risen, and he's going really well.
He worked hard, mate. He did. Good effort by Fremantle. They kicked 3 goals, didn't they, in this third quarter, and got within 17 points.
They did, Bill. It was 25 points, the difference at half-time, and Fremantle actually started to run and spread, and they got Matthew Pavlich 1 out, and his marking yesterday was brilliant. Whether it was against Ben Reid or our guest Nathan, he was really strong in the one-on-ones. They got within 17 points, Bill, and then Collingwood, we saw that Goldsack goal there. We saw Simon Buckley push down from the half-back line, and this is a tactic of Ross Lyon. He pushes all the numbers back, and then they often get it over the back there, Brownie.
Has Ross Lyon transformed this club into more of a defensive show? He's planning for a premiership. Obviously, I don't think they can win it this year, but has he transformed the way they play enough to suit today's game to win a premiership?
I think that's killing them at the moment is Fife's not playing, Hill's not playing, and Morabito. Add those three to it, and I think he's starting to attack a bit more, and they're really challenged. But we see Dane Swan here, another clearance forward.
17 points now,
17 points.
And obviously he gets it out of the middle there. And Dawsey, nice little snap.
It was. And what about Travis Cloak's form, Nathan? He seems a bit frustrated at times. He was subbed out. Was there any injury to Travis yesterday?
No, not that I know of. I think it might be a few things. That, just the situation of the game was a bit wet. We wanted to get our little speedster in and Moons on the field and that, but maybe a 6-day break. Maybe we just wanted to freshen him up for Carlton.
When you look at Fremantle, Barlow, Mundy, Pearce, Crowley, Lower, they just don't have the leg speed, and they need to find a way that they can cover ground and spread really well. But Darren Jolly, his form has been red hot. Just his experience to give the on-ballers first use is just first rate.
Yeah, Joel's been fantastic. He's so experienced and brings a lot to the team, and just week in, week out, his consistency in the ruck just to give us that first use and go on with it is fantastic.
I think when you look at Fremantle, the big positive from that point of view is they're rather consistent when they've been down. In the past, I reckon they might have dropped off a fair bit, but at least they're showing a bit of a fighting spirit, and I reckon that could build a bit of momentum towards next week. We've got Matty Lloyd over by the screen, so I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, I touched on how Collingwood looked to be getting back to that pressure. Pressure, they were having 70 inside 50s when they won the flag in 2010, and it's because the repeat inside 50s where the forwards aren't letting the ball out of their forward half. And yesterday they had the ball for 24 extra minutes inside their forward half than Fremantle, and as a result laid 101 tackles. And I just want to show some of the pressure early in the game that Collingwood forwards applied, and one of them is Tyson Goldsack, who it's coming. Tyson Goldsack was one of the players who's been moved forward for the Collingwood Football Club. And
you look good in front of the screen too, man.
We see here Tyson Goldsack and Travis Cloak, just the pressure they're applying. There's no outlet to kick the footy. And just the more you handball, the more you're going to be under pressure. That resulted in the second goal for Collingwood. And you could just tell that Collingwood were on in that regard. We freeze it here. Nick Maxwell's the king of stopping the switch play. So this is the half-back flanker, and he's here in the forward line of Collingwood. They have to go backwards, and this is a result. Even look for Solo. He's the manning of the mark here. He's just relentless.
Yep.
He tries to dance around in Michael Johns, gets a tackle. Payne comes in, gets the easiest of goals. But that's where I reckon Collingwood have gone to a new level, Scoob, and they deserve to be the favourites at the moment. They are relentless at the moment.
You get that sort of feel?
Yeah, definitely. It's funny you highlighted it because Buck said during the week that if we get the turnovers inside 50 and resulting goals by tackling or just the pressure, we get all the coaches at the club get thrown into a hat and they get pulled out and they go into the ring and they have to box off against each other. So it's a bit of extra motivation.
Lloydie, Fremantle's defence must have held up well yesterday because 69 inside 50s and they kept Collingwood to 15 goals. A pretty good effort. And I know Ross Lyon tweeted before he loves his show, he watches every week, so just give Ross Lyon a bit of a pump up.
It's what's Collingwood, I think it's scary about Collingwood. It's Cloak's not going that well. McFarlane did a great job on him yesterday. Dawes only took the 3 marks, so he got his goals from ground level. So it's just the smalls of Collingwood, which I think are making a massive difference in the midfield goals as well.
While you're there, Matty, let's go through your votes.
Yeah, the votes are Beams and Swan were the best two, Scoob. I thought that Dane Beams was brilliant yesterday. Just keeps getting better by the week. I thought Dane Swan, 43 disposals. Darren Jolly, 43 hit-outs, and they dominated the clearances inside 50s. And Matty Pavlich, only 35 inside 50s. For him to kick 5, he couldn't do much more. And the next month, I think big Friday night football, Collingwood play Carlton next week. They've got a tough run, actually, with Geelong and Hawthorn in the next 3 weeks, and obviously Fremantle. They need to win, I reckon, these next 4. I think they're capable of doing that to make a charge and make the 8.
Great to have Nathan Brown with us this morning, mate.
Thanks,
just for that little indiscretion earlier on the working hard, just a couple of Hail Marys, a couple of our fathers, and we look forward to seeing you in a month. Nathan Brown joining us from the Collingwood Footy Club.